All right, we've done basically a preliminary check, and so when I come into a vehicle I haven't seen before, I try and get a baseline on what's going on. Now there's a lot going on with this car, and I haven't dug in everything, but we're at a point that I can make kind of a consensus of where we're going and how far we're going to get there. We are outside right now because I have a large job in the shop, and so I will get it up on the rack and give it a look over a little later. But we have some runnability issues. We also have some maintenance things going on with it, and I want to go over that now. So runnability issues, we have 7 codes, and I'll show you those here in a second, and they're all related to ignition coils except 2, and 2 of them are evap related, and so that's a whole separate system. But I feel like when we go to the doctor, we need to do a basic health check before we just go chasing codes. And so one thing I noticed, that the retainer clip on all of the coils is broken, and there is a significant amount of oil leaking down the tube seals, and I don't know the last time it's, actually had a tune-up. Not terribly bad there. There's quite a bit of oil down there, some more oil there, some more oil there. And the codes are related to the primary ignition feed for the coil. And what normally happens on those is, as it ignites the spark plug, there's leftover electricity, and sometimes when the coil is faulty, it will allow it to basically shock the electrical system, and it'll cause it to do very weird things. So we have to do some basic repairs in order for me to assess the rest of this car. But tune-up, valve cover, obviously, gasket and tube seals. That would include spark plugs, PCV valve, filters, etc., along with 4 new ignition coils. Now, one thing that I did notice, I have had it running a little bit, I believe they're original hoses on this vehicle, and we are a little low on coolant, so I need to investigate that and see what the story is there. I don't believe that cap is working correctly, because when I pump the hoses, it's transferring but not allowing it to flow back into the radiator. As well as, we did a health check on the engine with a amp clamp. These peaks should be pretty dead on. They're close. There's some wear on this engine, but nothing I'm really concerned about. The valley should be very close. They're staggered. It's nothing that's going to make or break anything. However, that is something to kind of talk about. Let's see if I can pop back into the scanner. This is our list of codes right here. So we have primary codes for all coils. Again, we need to replace the coils, fix the oil leak. We have 2 evap codes that I have not investigated. We do have, different modules reporting that same deal. The battery is from 2018. It's starting the car okay now. However, it's a matter of time before it leaves you stuck, as well as there's some other fluids that look like they're in very bad shape, transmission fluid, brake fluid, etc. So this is kind of a preliminary check. This is an 07 Toyota, I believe it's Camry, maybe Solara, and it is a 2.4 liter, if I'm looking at that right. Yep, 2.4 liter. So this is our kind of initial checkout on it. Like I said, when we clear the lift later, we will get it in there, but we've got quite a bit we've already talked about as far as investment that's going to be needed in this vehicle to make it safe for travel. So any questions, comments, concerns, leave it down below, or get a hold of me directly if this is your car.